Okay, everyone, welcome back to TACCOM 2024. We have some new releases here. We're here with JR.
Hey guys.
We got the Sterling Mark 3, not just 2, but 3.
Yeah, so we stopped making the Mark II about 6 months ago, so we could save the parts that we have for warranty because we want to make sure we can support all the people that bought the Mark II. Like, we don't want to say, you can't get springs or pins. Then we worked on and we got the Mark III, and so these are our pre-production models. So we found a little tweaking, and we're just putting our rounds through them, right, to get the round counts up. So then we don't want to be beta testing on our client base. Like, it's important for us to get the rounds through them first, right? So this is our non-restricted. So this is 18.6. The cabinet, we got a 12.5. Right? So we just got our FRT yesterday at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So we have our non-restricted FRT for this. It's initially coming out in 556, but we've got our FRT for like 300 blackout and 762 by 39. So we're hoping for 762 by 39 sometime in like first quarter, second quarter of 2025, right? So we're pretty happy with this. Like, we're pretty pumped because we've made a lot of changes from the Mark II to the Mark III. First thing we'll say we made it about, like, you can hold it. It's like a half-pound lighter.
Oh, wow.
Like at least a half-pound lighter. Hang on to it. We've got the dust cover. We've got we've made it narrower, so we've had to bolt on the deflector. But in trying to get our price down, it's so important. We had to think of everything. So even just starting with a thinner block of aluminum, right, is super important. Our aluminum for this model, before on the Mark II, it was 6061. Everything now is 7075, like T6. So we've gone for a harder aluminum, which allows us to go thinner, which is lighter, right? So we've moved our gas system back from rifle to carbine. We've completely redesigned the gas system itself as well as the carrier. We can talk about that. We've got them pulled out over there. For our Ambi bolt catch, before we used to have a button, but we found that more people were dropping their mags because it was right around where the mag release was. So now what we do is you come back, and it's the HK style, and you have the standard, just the simple,
just a lever,
right?
Nice.
So it makes it handy, right?
That's very light.
So we're really happy with it. Like, we've done a lot of refining, and we've taken like almost $900 off the retail.
Oh, wow.
So it'll be out there for just a little, like right around $1,800.
And that's with the Trigger Tech.
That's with the Trigger Tech, right? We love Trigger Tech. They're great people to work with. Like, when we were first designing this thing, we sent them a rifle and said, which trigger works? And they go through and they test everything, and they've been great partners in this. So that's why we want to stick with offering a Trigger Tech with it. Like, so guys say, well, does a Guys League work? I have no idea. We built it with a mil spec and a Trigger Tech. That's all we know.
All you need is a Trigger Tech anyways.
Right. Another Canadian company. Yeah. Like, we don't need to support anybody else, right? And with the buttstock, right? So we've gone, with it, and then we've gone with a simple system, right? So it's just Picatinny, but we bought these, like, to be quite honest, we bought these in Turkey because we get the cost down, right? And then so you just with your Picatinny, and just throw it back on there, and it's 3 positions, so you can adjust it where you want, and it locks in place, right? Standard, like 6 position, all that. So it's a clean. We've gone for clean lines, keep the weight down, keep the cost down, and make it a high round count gun. Like, I can't wait to go through the 9mm with you as well, because we're super stoked about that. But the Mark III, we think, is a great rifle, especially, and it's very competitively priced, around the $1,800 mark. So it's right there with everything else, with tons of great features.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so we're pretty happy with it.
I cannot wait to get my hands on one.
Yeah. So later on, if you want, we can go over and take a look at the other parts.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay, welcome to part 2 of the parts. So, when we say, like, we tried to simplify the bolt catch. So we just made a simple paddle system here. It was just borrowing from like the MR223 or the 416, which works just great, right? We put inside, you can't really see on the video, but we got a tensioning screw. The same thing we'll show you. It's better on the 9 because we can show you up top, but we just try to make it so that there's automatic tension, right? This is where the heart is, though, like our new gas system. So
this is what everyone's excited.
This is what everybody's excited. So this is completely different. So this is our piston, and then the piston itself, the recoil for it. Now, what we've done differently is, first thing is, we had to get rid of the adjustable gas block because that was 85% of our issues. It wasn't because there was actually a problem, but people would mess with their gas, couldn't figure it out, and have to send the rifle back to us so we could readjust it and send it back to them. So we said, let's actually just make this work with a wide variety of gas, like just type of bullet types. So what we did is we've gone for a conical shaped piston. So what happens is it's in the gas, in your gas block. When it starts moving, once it's moved back even that far, it's got as much gas as it needs because it's just going to continue moving. So we bleed forward, but because it's a conical shape inside here, the area is expanding logarithmically. So the gas is getting more and more space quick. It's not like our old system where it was linear. So it just was a standard expansion rate. Now we can just bleed off the excess gas as fast as we can. So it's very hard to overgas this system.
Yes.
With this, then it's really simple because you can pop a pin out, change the spring, or we can buy the whole thing. But we anticipate, because we've now shortened our piston, even though in the Mark II, we never broke a piston, ever. We just want to make it as short a run as possible. Like, we want to make this as a high round count gun. So once you have the heart of the gas system, then we get into our carrier. And our carrier now is a lot lighter, leaner. We got a firing pin safety, which is really straightforward. Like, if it's not fully in battery, then that lever can't go down. So we're good, right? So it just gives us that safety and security, right? And then the thing's all captive.
That's cool.
Right? So, you'll see on other designs, like we didn't come up with this design, right? It's like, but, so then now you can take your springs off. So, when you see a great design that isn't patented somewhere else, I don't mind borrowing it. It says some innovation doesn't have to just be from us. Then to make the whole thing, like the thing more solid, we've done, because on a lot of air, because you've got the motion with the piston, what we've done is we put a steel insert at the top here. So you're running steel in steel.
Not wearing it down.
You're not wearing it down. And then also, too, is because our handrail goes on, cross pin at the bottom, and then a locking pin at top, this steel screw is now going into a steel insert. So again,
good threads on good threads.
Good threads on good threads. Because we were, with our old system, too, you had that it was going into aluminum. So you had 6 screws going into aluminum. So eventually we're going to start having issues with threading. So I think this gives us a really good design. We've put there's a lot of upgrades into this basic design, right? I mean, it's still the same side cocking that covers it completely. Like, because we couldn't go too far away from the source material, right? It still has to be, an R18.
It has to be a 180.
It has to be an Air one. It has to be in Mark II with upgrades. And that's how we kept our non-restricted FRT status, right? So we're really happy. We're really proud. So far in our testing, the gun's working great, but we want to get the round count up first, and then we'll start seeing it in stores.
So,
yeah. There you have it. The R18 Mark III.
I'm a big fan of that charging.
Perfect, man. And as I said, you guys are interested in an ARC. So when we get this 76x39 done, then you can, that should be first quarter, because we've already got our barrel extensions done. We've got our barrels designed. We just got to work on our bolt face, and so you'll be good. And we're going to publish our barrel specs on our website. So anybody who wants to spin up a barrel, like, we're not a barrel company, we're a gun company. So if people want to make their own barrels, we'll tell you how we did it, like what our dimensions are. Make your own barrel.
Because you said 7.62x39, right?
Yeah.
That should be 6 arc bolt face.
Well, the bolt face will be.
Yeah.
But you just got to spin up a 6 arc barrel, but then you got to know where you're pinning it. So I think
where to put it.
My point is, we are pinning these like M16 style, like old school.
Yeah.
They're not tapered, but we wanted to make sure this is not coming off and it's indexed on the barrel. Like, if your gas block is coming loose and moving, we have bigger problems.
I always drilled mine into the
right, but the problem is because there's motion. One of the problems with the whole design is that. So that's why, like, the SKS, the AK, everybody who's got pistons, they're staking out.
Yeah.
Like they're in there good. So, like, we had to make sure we did that.
The rifle length wasn't an option, or is just too much whip in the barrel?
We wanted to get it smaller. Like, we just wanted, because it gives us more options of barrel lengths. So while we and you get a lot of the whip. Like that's the problem is we had to go such a heavy barrel because we had so much whip, and so we were going to try getting it back there, and just try to keep the weight down, and better balanced.
So I think for like if you wanted a precision, if you had a rifle length, you could technically have that block mark further forward and have a thicker barrel up to that point, because then don't have to slide your gas block down.
But you could always just take something, do it yourself. If you're going to make your own barrel, and then make a sleeve on the front of that, so move everything out.
Yeah.
Just make your measurements. Say I'm going to move from X to X. It'd be a simple measurement and make a nice stainless extension.
Yeah.
It's under tension, so
should be fine.
It'd be fine. Like to try.
Yeah.
Right? And it would probably be pretty good because the whole point with our gas system right now is we have multiple pieces for that flex. So if you had another piece that had loose tolerances, it would give you that flex.
Yeah. So is the recoil impulse lighter with that, or?
I think they're about the same. Like I'm not a machine, so I can't say it, but the gun is very flat. Our muzzle brake, like people say, oh, the first thing I do, I got to change the muzzle brake. Ours is really efficient. Like we spent a lot of time designing that. Like it's not like we just said, oh, let's make it look pretty. We spent a lot of time. In fact, we 3D printed an adapter and then used a garden hose just to see the flow. And then we started shooting it and then to see the gases. But we worked hard to come up with the right flow because it's not, it does a job.
Yeah.
It serves a purpose, right? And so you can change it, but you don't need to.
No.
Right?
It's almost personal preference, I think, with some guys in muzzle brakes. It's just,
100%
you want the look of it.
But that's the thing is, you're changing it because of look. Yeah. You're not changing it because, like, we put a $5 bird cage on that does nothing.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the difference. Yeah.
There's a few rifles I put where I've noticed a difference by changing brakes, but that's with like 300 PRC. And
yeah.
This is a 223. You're not going to notice.
Well, if you don't have anything on it, you notice.
Yeah.
Like I'm actually like, oh, yeah, it is, but you're going to spend money you have to put something better. Not like you're going to have to make an upward spend to make this better.
Yeah.
It's not like you're starting with garbage.
No.
Right? There's probably more efficient and things that will get it a little bit better. What's it? Oh, there's a couple of companies in the States that make amazing brakes. But we're not firing full auto. Like brakes are super important when you're firing full auto.
Yeah.
We're not. So for what we've got, I'm pretty happy with offering. At $1,800. Like we tried, I think we tried to tick every box and keep that price down.
That's the big one. Everyone's.
Yeah. Keeping the price down, but still giving a quality, like not Chinese.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's the thing is there's no China parts in here. Not minding the Chinese, but if you're going to buy a first world nation gun, you expect the parts to be first world nation.
This would be a legacy rifle that you could literally handle.
Yeah, I think so.
People don't really make those anymore.
Well, we're trying for Canadian guns. Like there's not a lot of us making guns in Canada.
No.
Like making production guns. There's like all kinds of amazing gunsmiths turning out custom rifles. Like, fuck, they're amazing. Uh-oh, I swore. Good thing it was after the first 5 minutes, so I won't demonetize you. But they're one-offs, or small batch. The whole point is we want to build a production gun that we can keep in dealer shelves, and then come up with more models. Right? Like we can't build this to make 20 guns a month. We want to make 200 guns a month. Right? That's what's important. That's how we keep the cost down, and we've done our projections on pricing based on that kind of a quantity. Right? Because if we were making 20 guns a month, well, then we're back to being a $2,800 gun.
Yeah.
Right? But people don't want that. Right? Plus, if you get it so you got 200 guns a month, then your parts, like you got anything, you need a spring, pins. Well, dealers have them. Like you can get a whole, like it's worthwhile having that kind of inventory.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Would a Black Label handguard fit on that?
I'm hoping to see them because they made us like Black Label. I mean, let's face it, best handguards on the planet. Like they are gorgeous. They made one for the Mark II, so we're waiting for them to see because we're more of an AR-15 style interface here. We should be able to make some type of interface for theirs to get one of their their handguns on here. Like for me, it's really important if we can get a black label.
Because that would A, be functional, B, it would look awesome.
Well, if you saw it, did you ever see it on our Mark II?
Yes.
Oh man,
That's why I want, like, can we get
sweet. But they're a great company.
Yeah.
And they're very reactive. So I'm quite certain we'll come up with something to make it work. And if I have to make because I don't have to make a handguard, if I have to make an interface or change my barrel net for them, I'll do it. Heartbeat, I'll do it.
Very cool.
Right? Like they're great. So if whatever they tell me I got to do to get their rail built for this one, we'll do it.
Because that makes it so much more universal. Like,
any other questions?
no, that's pretty much covered it.
All right. Well, thank you for coming to TACCOM 2024 here in the lovely, balmy Toronto. You know, I'm missing 30-degree weather in my backyard in Alberta. So please, if you're in the area, come visit. We'd love to see you.